Hi, I'm Dan Schmitt. I do a motorcycle racing TV show, Team Chicago Challenge. My email is teamdan45@gmail.com. My website is teamchicago.tv. 1999 was a great year for Team Chicago Racing, the WERA National Endurance Series. The 8th race was Memphis Motorsports Park, and Team Chicago had a little bit of a problem. So let's check out and see what happened at Memphis Motorsports Park 1999 with WERA, Western Eastern Road Race Association.
Well, we're in Memphis. Lisa Marie's in the background. That's Elvis's plane. And but we're not here. We're not on a tour guide of Memphis and Graceland. We're here for the WERA National Endurance. We're getting near the end of the season. We've got 3 more races, a 6-hour here at Memphis Motorsport Park, and then we got 2 left. Team Chicago still leads in Middleweight SuperStock. I think I should be talking to Priscilla about sponsoring Team Chicago with that Graceland Foundation. So let's go see if Priscilla's around. With the 5-minute board, the riders get to take a warm-up lap. But in the point standings, Heavyweight Superbike leading is Semoff Brothers Racing, number 1. Second place is Arclight. Third place is 1-800 Crotch Rocket. Semoff Brothers got 763 points. Heavyweight Superstock, it's D&D Racing with 610 points. Penn State is second. Nielsen Racing is third. Middleweight Superbike, it's Army of Darkness with 635 points. Tapeworks is second. Leaning Lizard's third. And in Middleweight Superstock, Team Chicago leads with 688. Neighbor of the Beast is second. As we wait for the start, 1-minute board. And the start of the 6-hour National Endurance at Memphis Motorsport Park. Jumping out front, that's Semoff Brothers Racing. With Glenn Zarek riding. Behind him is Arclight, team out of California. 750, Suzuki. Army of Darkness got a good start. Steve Carson's right on him on the Team Chicago R6 Yamaha. Oh, getting a late start is Team Dreaded, number 91. Well, what was their problem? Down the front straightaway, that R1 1000 Yamaha, showing the horsepower. Somebody's jumped the start. So they come down the front straightaway. It's like Penn State's right up there. Army of Darkness. Steve Carson just gets passed by Tapeworks. Tapeworks is on the move. Tapework goes wide. Steve Carson sneaks around on the inside. This is only the first lap. We're starting the second lap. Scott Harrell on that Tapeworks moves past Steve Carson on the Team Chicago R6. As they head through the Sawteeth and into the bus stop. But Tapeworks is the man on the move. I think they're in battling for third place right now with 1-800 Crotch Rocket and Psycho Speed Racing. Let's see him go through this turn 1 complex. You got a 750 Suzuki up front, number 8. Number 4 is on a 600 Suzuki. As they make the turn into the Sawteeth. Scott's got the move. Moving into third place overall right now. First place in Middleweight Superbike. Swinging camera in the front straightaway. That's Semoff Brothers on that R1 Yamaha starting to stretch the lead over Arclight Suzuki. Glenn Zarek riding that Yamaha Arai EDC Motul Sprocket Specialist Tabaki R1. But really stretching the lead in third place is Tapeworks 600 Suzuki. Sponsored by Tapework Graphics, Pirelli, Maximum Oil, really stretching the lead. There's someone that really feels comfortable on this track in Memphis. Battling back here, it's Paramount Racing, 133 is ahead of Steve Carson, Clinton Psychos. Steve on the Team Chicago R6, and Steve's running a good solid race. And that's how we end the start of the 6-hour national endurance. As we come to the end of the first hour, still up front is Semoff Brothers Racing on that Yamaha 1000. Arclight is in second place on the 750 Suzuki. This battle continues to rage. Nobody's giving up any ground. No one's giving anybody an inch. This is probably the tightest race for the first place this season. The long straightaway into tight corners. Memphis is a challenging track. Steve Carson comes by in the Team Chicago R6. We're running 11th place. Steve's running a nice solid race. Really flying out there. In 6th place is Leaning Lizard. The guys on that Kirstein, Kawasaki, Team Green, AGV, Bridgestones, Alpine Star from 2nd place in Middleweight Superbike. And now we're going to make a pit stop. I'm going to take over, and the Dunlop boys are going to check the tire pressure in that front tire. Now it's my turn to ride the Team Chicago R6 Yamaha. And let's take a look at Memphis Motorsports Park as we head down this front straightaway. This is part of the drag strip where they run that NHRA National. Into this fast, sweeping right-hander. Goes Army of Darkness. Back on track. They had trouble during that first hour. Short shoot, another right-hander. Stay on the gas into this left. Into the saw teeth. One downshift. Lock up the brakes. Right, left, right. Down the short shoot. Into the bus stop. 90-degree right, left. Another short shoot. And that heads us into the subway tunnel. Most dangerous place on the track. Just got to be careful. Hay bales and guardrails everywhere. One shift up. Onto the front straightaway. Swing across the yellow. Shift again. Whoa, going by me is Melissa Burkhoff on Neighbor of the Beast. In the meantime, still up front is Semoff Brothers Racing on that 1000 Yamaha. We're in the second hour. Arclight Suzuki's running second. Tapeworks are running third. 1-800 Crotch Rocket is in fourth. Penn State, number 85. They're running in 6th place. Carlyle Racing running a 600 Suzuki. Their R1 is busted, and they're running in 11th place. Cycle Speed Racing, number 77, the guys out of Canada, and at 1000 Yamaha, they're running in 5th place. Penn State is 6th. Team Clinton, another team out of the Washington, D.C. area, they're running in 7th. Leaning Lizard on the Kirstein Kawasaki is running in 8th place. They head down this chute. Coming by me now, Tapeworks. Whoa. Saving it, shaking around. It's Carl Masecar as I go shooting by him through the bus stop. We head into the subway corner. Hay bales and guardrails. And after 2 hours of racing, it's Semoff Brothers Racing up front. Arclight Suzuki second. Tapeworks is running third. 1-800 Crotch Rockets is running fourth. 5th is Cycle Speed. 6th is Penn State. 7th is Team Clinton Cycles. Leaning Lizards is 8th. 9th is D&D Racing. And 10th is Paramount Racing. Team Chicago with me riding. We drop back to 13th. but I'm sure Steve Carson is going to be able to get back on there and get us back in contention. Neighbor to Beast is right in front of us, and so is Carlyle Racing. Oh no, disaster strikes. This is Scott Brown as we get into the third hour racing here at Memphis Motorsport Park. Scott Brown on that number 1 R1 Yamaha, Semoff Brothers Racing. He drops it coming out of turn 2 or in that big sweeper. And the bike looks like it's going to fire back up as we see the teams racing by. Boy, they're losing some time. Arclight now is up front. Arclight Suzuki. And that 750 Suzuki's up front. Penn State is in there. As you see Scott Brown starting to head back towards the pits. Disaster strikes. Arclight's up front. What does that mean? Tapeworks in second as Tapeworks makes around number 63. That's Team Van Gogh. Steve Carson and the Team Chicago. Yamaha dealers, 4 and 6 prepared. Torco Racing Fuel, Race Tire Service Dunlop. Yamaha. Steve is making tracks. R6 is running great. He'll get us back into the game. Army of Darkness is back in the hunt. They had trouble during that first hour. And now Steve Carson doesn't come around. In fact, I don't even see Tapeworks out there. Something has happened to Team Chicago R6. Arclight Suzuki, and that Suzuki Pirelli Motion Pro. But I'm going to head back into the pits and see what happened to the Team Chicago R6 Yamaha. We're in the pits. It is quiet. We have spun a crank bearing. Getting a little noise. Don't know why. But Steve Carson said the oil light came on. And he started hearing a click, click, click. So he did the smart thing by pulling back into the pits. And also in the pits is Tapeworks. And I had a chance to talk to the owner of Tapeworks Graphics. So let's go talk to Russell Masecar and see what happened to Tapeworks at Memphis. I'm with Russell Masecar, who's the owner of Tapeworks. And like Team Chicago, you guys have had a mechanical problem. You guys were flat flying. You were leading Middleweight Superbike. And in fact, I think you went by me. I hope I got that on helmet cam because I only got to go out there one time. So what happened to your engine?
We think we blew a head gasket. It was overheating. And when we come in to stop, it was pouring a lot of water out of the belly pan. And I went out for like 2 more laps, and it was water in the rear tire and sliding around a bit. So we decided to park it. We could have swapped motors and stayed in, but it probably would have took us 2 hours to change the motor out at the rate we moved. So
yeah, this is kind of miserable. It's about 98 degrees. It's not very pretty here in Memphis.
It's a little too warm. We didn't feel like sweating buckets and then try to get back in the race to maybe move up 2 or 3 positions from second to last. So it's not worth it. You know, we'll go back in Atlanta and we'll get the motor fixed and we'll rebound and maybe we'll give them a show in Atlanta.
Well, as we get to the end of the third hour, Leaning Lizard, they're in the pits doing a tire change. Brian Healy's not here because his wife has just had a baby. But Tracy Scheidler and David Coomes. Also, Greg Albert has joined them as we watch him change the tire on this Kawasaki Team Green, Theo's Wheels, Kirstein Cycle, AGV, Bridgestone, the Alpine Star Factory, Ferrota, Beasley Fiberglass, Elf, Racetech, Renthal, Arcade Chain, Vanson, and their 600 Kawasaki, and they are running in 4th place. In their first place, Middleweight Superbike. Meantime, up front, Arclight Suzuki is still leading. Second place now is 1-800 Crotch Rocket, number 8. Third place is Penn State on that 900 Kawasaki. Leaning Lizards running 4th on the 600 Cow. Psycho Speed is 5th. D&D is 6th. Team Clinton is running 7th. Paramount is running 8th. Carlyle is up to 9th. And Semoff Brother is back in track, and they're in 10th place. Taking advantage of Team Chicago is out of this race is Neighbor to Beast with Melissa Burkhoff, and they're right behind us in the points as she runs a nice, clean race. As Arclight comes in for a tire change. Let's check this out. These guys have got this down to a science. as they change their Pirelli tire. Tire off, tire on, quick fill gas. Ram it in, put the clip. But they're running Superbike, so they can modify the swing arm and make it that much easier to change a tire as they head out. But running in 4th place is Leaning Lizard, number 71, is Tracy Scheidler with Paramount right behind him. And I had a chance to talk to one of the riders from Leaning Lizard. I'm here with David Coomes, who's riding with Leaning Lizard Racing, number 71, that coast team Kawasaki. And you guys are doing pretty good here at Memphis. Do you like this track, or what's the deal here?
Yeah, it's a nice track. The only thing is we're running a 600, and running 600s, you don't have that much horsepower down this long straightaway. But other than that, yeah, I love it. I like the trick stuff in the back.
Well, I thought it was only going to be you and Tracy riding, but who's the third rider?
The other guy is Greg. We just met him. He was pitted up next to us in the back paddock. We needed a third rider just to give us a break a little bit because it's 6 hours. I went over to him and asked him because I saw him riding his R6 and thought it was a good shot to try.
And he's doing okay?
He's doing great.
So what do you think? You guys going to win class? How is this going to affect the overall point?
You know, I don't know. Overall, we're running 3rd or 4th right now, but overall, we're running 8th overall in the points. We're trying. We're working on it. We want a number 1 place today.
Okay, well, it's great. You guys are looking good. We're really charging now with Paramount Racing. They're in 8th place. And in the pits now, and running in 2nd place is 1-800 Crotch Rocket, this team out of Arkansas. And they're sponsored by Sharkskin, AAG, AGV, M4, Pirelli, and Factory. And they're leading in, check that, they're 2nd place in Heavyweight Superbike as they make a rear tire change, take on the fuel, switch riders, and they're off and at it. Semoff Brothers just left the pits right in front of them. Semoff Brothers playing catch-up. They're up to 9th place as we watch Team Clinton Psycho. They're running in 7th place. Team Clinton from Bethesda, Maryland, and he had 600 Suzuki. Semoff is on the charge. Semoff Brother Racing, his team out of York, PA, and yet Yamaha, Arai, EBC, Motul, R1, 1000 Yamaha. And they're starting to cut their way through traffic, picking up 1 spot at a time. They lost a bunch of laps, repairing the bike. But Arclight is putting the hammer down. Army of Darkness is also on the move. They had a crash in that 1st hour. On their 600 Suzuki, they're up to 15th place. Psycho Speed, the Canadians, are in 6th place. Psycho Speed Racing, also on an R6 Yamaha, sponsored by Ontario Yamaha, MKC Enterprises, and Pirelli. Carlyle Racing's putting on a good race. They're on a 600 Suzuki, not that R1 Yamaha. Carlyle Racing running number 53 here. They're sponsored by Ferrodo, Factory Pro Tuning, Hindo, Beachman Motorsport. And I had a chance to talk to the owner of Carlyle Racing, so let's go talk to Matt right now. I'm here with Matt Carlyle from Carlyle Racing, and what are you guys doing? You're playing a stealth team. How can you be riding that Suzuki with number 53 when you should be riding that R1 Yamaha with number 56? What's the story here?
Yeah, unfortunately, we had a little mishap at Putnam Park. The 3-hour mark, we were leading in the Heavyweight SuperStock Class, and had an unfortunate incident in turn 4 and finished the bike off for the year. So thanks to Dave Coomes, we put together a GSXR600, and we've got some yellow number plates on it and a different number, so we're kind of in stealth mode here this weekend. So.
But it's still, you're running Heavyweight SuperStock with that bike. Now, you're in 2nd place now?
Actually, the championship situation at that point really hurt us. My crash at Atlanta, and then the bad luck at Putnam Park, we dropped from 1st place in class back to 4th in class. Fortunately, we had the 1 throwout race, and if you look at it that way, that would put us in 3rd. So season's still, I guess, young if you count Willow Springs in there, but we're still looking for backing for that before we can make it to California.
So you're thinking of doing a 24 hour?
We're still up for grabs how this weekend goes, and so we're still on the hunt here.
We get into the 5th hour racing at Memphis Motorsports Park with WERA. Still up front is Arclight Suzuki, and he had 750 Suzuki, this team out of California. 22 is Team Extreme. They're up to 13th place. 22 sponsored by Team Extreme, Pennzoil, and Suzuki of Canton. They're running Middleweight Superstock, and they're definitely ahead of us. This is really getting to be a disaster. We are losing points by not being out there. 85, Penn State has dropped back to 10th place, but making a nice solid move. Neighbor of the Beast is up to 12th place. Army of Darkness is making their way, and they're in 11th place. They're coming back from the problems they had during that first hour. You see Leaning Lizards in the pits, making one of the final pit stops. They're running Superbike on the Kirstein Psycho, Kawasaki, Team Green, AGV, Bridgestone, Alpine Star, as David Coomes heads out. And they're in 5th place. Now in the pits is 446. That's Team Knee Dragger. And let's check out this pit stop.
How's it doing, Ryan? Pretty good. It started getting a little loose in the end, but it's all right. Tires seem to have pretty good grip, so a little fuzzy in the exit of turn 1. So just, decrease the lean angle there. Pour it, Alex. Just pour it.
And as Team Knee Dragger heads out to do battle, this is ending up the final rounds of pit stops for most of the teams as we get into the final hour. But making a charge now, Semoff Brothers Racing is working their way through the pack. In fact, I think they're up to about 5th place right now as we get in the top of the 6th hour, the final hour. Glenn Zarek's back on the bike, making the charge. I'll tell you, the weather is hot. It's in the upper 90s. It is a hot day in Memphis. You see him go through the bus stop, left and right, and head into the subway tunnel. But up front is Arclight Suzuki as they make it past Knee Dragger. Arclight Suzuki is leading. 2nd place is 1-800 Crotch Rocket. And at 750 Suzuki, so we got 2 Suzuki 750s up front at the 6-hour national. This team out of Arkansas. Whoa, hold on. Penn State. Army of Darkness is making their way through traffic also. They're starting to move up after their first hour disaster. Running in 5th place now. Leaning Lizard on the Kirstein's Kawasaki with David Coomes now on the bike. But they're leading in Middleweight Superbike. Knee Draggers come by, number 446. The team out of Huntington, Maryland. Melissa Burkhoff keeps charging along on Neighbor of the Beast in 13th place, but really stacking some points over the Team Chicago. They are in 2nd place in Middleweight Superstock. Team Extreme, they're running in 12th place. This team out of Canton, Georgia, on that Suzuki of Canton. Team Extreme, 600 Suzuki. But Arclight Suzuki is still up front. Down the front straightaway, 77 is running in 5th place. That Psycho Speed on that 1000 Yamaha as you get towards the end. Paramount Racing's running in 9th place on that 600 Suzuki. As Semoff Brothers has now moved themselves up to 3rd place. Nice steady riding, fast lap times by Glenn Zarek. Carlyle Racing's running in 9th place. But it looks like we're coming to the end of 6 hours. 6 hours at Memphis Motorsports Park as we wait for the checkered flag to end this 6-hour national endurance. And with the throw of the flag, picking up the win, it's Arclight Suzuki. 1-800 Crotch Rocket is 2nd. 3rd place is Semoff Brothers Racing. D&D is running 4th. Psycho Speed 5th. Leaning Lizard 6th. 7th, Team Clinton Cycles. 8th is Paramount Racing. 9th is Carlisle. Penn State 10th. as Penn State comes back into the pits. Boy, he looks like he might have ran off the track. Army of Darkness 11, Team Extreme 12, Neighbor of the Beast 13th, Knee Dragger 14th, and Team Chicago, we finished 17th. And as Arclight Suzuki comes back into the pit, Semoff Brothers still leads in heavyweight superbike. D&D Racing is leading in heavyweight superstock. Middleweight Superbike, Army of Darkness is still on top. And Team Chicago still has a slim lead in middleweight superstock. But Leaning Lizards, this is their first win in middleweight superbike, and they're having a great celebration.
Running the WERA National Endurance Series is always a challenge. Music for the show by Engine, Mike Preetz, Intrigue and Travesty, and all this music recorded at Fireside Studios, Westchester, Illinois. And a special thanks to Dennis Torres and WERA for the additional video footage. I could not have done this production without that footage. And for more information on WERA, America's road race leader, WERA, Western Eastern Road Race Association, their website is WERA.com, WERA.com. And to contact me, and I love to hear from my audience, my email is teamdan45@gmail.com. And remember, you can always search on YouTube with Dan Schmitt Motorcycle Racing for great motorcycle racing action, Dan Schmitt Politics, to learn what makes America great. And I highly encourage you to visit the World of Motorcycle Museum, just off Indiana 39 in Winamac, Indiana, 4 miles south of North Judson. Give them a call first at 574-896-3172. It's a great trip and a great collection of motorcycles.